In this video, we're going to replicate this layout, which is basically some elements overlapping one another. Hi, my name is Stratos and I'm constantly producing video tutorials about WordPress. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Now, basically, this is not a very hard thing to do, and I wouldn't recommend that to be an advanced layout building, but since I was asked for something like that, and maybe there are other people that are confused about overlapping elements, I was going to create something like that eventually. So let's get started. We have two columns here with an image and a form inside here, and then we have some information down here. So we're going to get started with adding here a section. And remember, this series is not for you to go and copy everything from other websites. It's just for you to understand how this is working and how you can create more advanced stuff in Oxygen. So we need the background color to be a light blue, something like that. Okay, it's not the same, of course, but I'm not going to take the exact color. So let's save that and add here a column with two columns inside. So as you can see, we have a column element with two divs inside, which are the columns. Now, in the left column, we have to add an image. So we have two ways to do that. We can add here the image element and set that exact image to be inside here, or you can add a div inside here and have that image to be a background of that div. Now, of course, I'm adding a div inside the div if I want to create that as a background image, because I want then to push the div to the right, sorry. So it's not good to do that in the div of the column. Add another div and do that instead. So here I'm going to browse, and I have already downloaded the image just for not taking you too long of your time for this video. And let's go to the next, which is here, and I'm going now to add a form because I don't have any plugins for the form. So let's refresh this at first, just to have the same layout. Okay, and then let's go to themes and plugins, add new. And let's add here a contact form. Let's go for contact form 7, which is the most basic one. Okay, let's go for popular, and it's the most popular plugin at this moment. And I know that this will have already a contact form created for me. So let's go to contact form, and let's copy the shortcode here. Okay, let's close that. And now let's close that also, and let's go here, and here we're going to add the div, and inside this div I'm going to add a shortcode, and here I'm going to put the form. Okay, let's save that and see how it looks in the front end. Okay, awful, but we're going to change all of that. So first we need to go to the second div. This is the one. And here I'm going to set a background color of white, and also I'm going to give it a little bit of padding. So I think this is not exactly 50-50 for the columns, as I can see here. So it's more of a 40-60 maybe, or they may be, yeah, I think it's 60 and this is a 40. So let's go here and let's choose the columns, and I'm going to choose that to be 40%, and this should be 60% automatically. As you can see here, this will take the remaining space. So now that this is 40, I'm going to select this div, and I'm going to set the width to be 100% of this column. Okay, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of, let's stack that in the middle. No, on the left, but let's put there, let's remove that, and let's put there a little bit of padding. So let's go to sizing and spacing, and let's go for 300 pixels of padding, something like that. No, a little less, 200 maybe. Okay, something like that, maybe a little less, 180. Okay, now we need to push the image to the right. So I'm going to the image, and I'm going for advanced sizing and spacing, and here I'm going to put let's go for a negative margin. sorry. And since this is not moving, you have to go one element up and do that here. So if I go here inside that div, I can put a negative margin, but let's select that to be wrapped in a div first. And now let's go to that div because I don't want to change the div of the column. Here in that div, let's go for the sizing and spacing, and let's now change the margin. And as I can see now, it starts changing. Okay, now let's see first here. Okay, and I think I need to push it a little bit down also. Yeah, I need to push it a little bit down. So let's go for 100 and 120, and let's go for the margin and put around 20, something like that. No, let's go for 40. Okay, now here we have a contact us, and let's copy that, and let's go here, and here I need to add heading element. I'm going to put contact us, I'm going to put that on top, and as you can see, I copied the text which is contact us, and it's all capital letters, but here I don't have that. So this is styled with CSS. Let's go to advanced, let's click first the heading, and let's go to advanced, let's go to typography, and then we're going to select the uppercase. Okay, let's save that, and let's see the form. So this is what we have, and here I have to go and style that in the middle. So let's go and put that in the center. Okay, now I think it's a little bit better. Let's save that, and let's see how it looks in the front end. Okay, now I need to put a z-index here. The z-index is the number that would indicate me what element is on top. So the bigger the number, that element is on top of the others. Let's go to layout, and as you can see, I have selected the div, the whole div, but you can also do that for the image. But let's keep it in the div, and let's put that z-index 1. Let's save that and go to the front end and refresh. Okay, have I selected the correct one? No, this is not the correct one. So let's remove that, and I have to select this div, which contains the image, this one, and let's go advanced layout, and here I'm going to select z-index of 1. Let's save that and refresh the page. Okay, and now as I can see, I getting there, and I need to put a little bit more margin to the top. So here, advanced, sizing and spacing, and let's go for 80. Okay, let's save that, and this is done for the columns. So the next thing is create something like that for the contact information. So let's go and add underneath the columns element, we're going to add another column element. So let's close that, and here select the section and add columns, and here we're going to add 3 columns because we have 3 columns, as you can see. Let's go here, and for the columns, let's go and put the background color to be black. Okay, now this should be a little bit to the right, and so the best thing to do for me is to go and wrap that in a div. Now that it's in the div, these columns went straight to the left because the columns don't have any width, and of course I wrap those inside a div. And here I'm going for that div, and I'm going to put 100% for the width. So now I have this layout. Let's save that. And now I want to put the columns not to start from the beginning of the image, as you can see, but I have to go and put that in his elbow, maybe. And this isn't also to the very right side of the page. So let's go here, and this is now easier to do that in the div because the columns will take the remaining space evenly for the columns. So let's go to the width, and let's go maybe for 80%, and let's put that columns in the middle and see how it looks. Okay, let's stack those vertically, middle and middle. Okay, and yeah, not 100%, not 80%. Let's go for 100%, and we're going to give it a little bit of padding. So let's go to sizing and spacing, and that was my mistake because 80% will always be in the left. I should go and add another div just for that, but I'm not going to do that way. And let's go and add a padding of 50 pixels, maybe. No, 100 pixels, 100 pixels. Okay, it's close, but not yet there. 130 pixels, something like that. And here I'm going to put also for the padding 50 pixels, something like that. And as you can see, the columns have taken the remaining space and are evenly for the width. So let's go inside here, and we're going to add here the icon and the heading. And of course I had to wrap those in a div. So first column, I'm going to add a div, and in that div, which will be the contact div, okay, and I'm going to add here an icon, this one, and next to that, which will be the contact icon, we'll have a heading, and this will be the contact heading. Okay, I put some space between there. Okay, so instead of going and putting the white color here and here, you can also do that inside the div. And since we have a custom class here, it will affect the other two copies that we're going to make. So we can go onto advanced typography and put the color here in white. So every element that's inside will have a primary color of white. So let's go and style them horizontal, middle, and center. And then we're going to triple click the text and paste here to call us. Okay, this will be an H4 maybe. And let's go for the icon size of 30. Okay, and as you can see, that changed the color. Now this is basically a bug because it should stay the same, but let's see in the front end if it has stayed with the white color. Okay, it's changed the color and it shouldn't do that. And okay, let's see here. So we're going to put here the white color. Okay, and let's go also and put advanced sizing and spacing, and for the margin let's give it 20 margin, something like that. I think, yeah, about 20 margin. Okay, the icon is a phone, something like that. Let's save and see how it looks. Okay, the icon is okay, and I think the text is a little bit bigger. Of course, the text is not right yet. Let's go to advanced, let's go typography. First we're going for line height 1 to remove the spaces, then we're going to uppercase, and then we're going for a font family, not font family, a font weight of 300, 400 maybe, 400, something like that. Let's save that and see how it looks now. Okay, way too slim, so let's go for 500. And refresh here. Okay, I think it didn't change anything. Let's go for 600. Something like that. Okay, and I think we're pretty close. Okay, after that, let's put that in the middle, center, and I'm going to hit center for all the other divs here, the other columns. Okay, and now we're going to add underneath that div inside the column here a text which will say this. So here, add text, triple click it, paste, and then select the text color to be white. Okay, And I think it needs a little bit of space. Yeah, I think it needs a little bit of space from this div, around 20 pixels. Okay, so save that. And now I can go and duplicate that. And duplicate that also. And this text. Do the same. Okay, put that in here. Put that in here. And move the space. The text here and move the text here. Okay. The second column has a location. Location, and here is a map icon. Map. Okay, this pin. And this is business hours with the clock. Business hours with the clock. Okay. And let's also take this location text here. Okay, and where does it break? As you can see, it breaks in new, but I think this is not a break that it's doing from the text, it's doing from the whole block. It's breaking where it can break. So let's go to the next one, which is this one, and let's copy that and let's put that in here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as this. I'm not going to put any breaks myself. And I think it's okay. So now I need to just go and put some negative margin in that div. So let's go to that div. Let's go to advanced, sizing and spacing. And here for the margin, let's go for 200 and minus. Come on. Minus 200. Okay, it's way too much. So let's go for minus 100. Minus 100. And I think it needs to be a little bit more pushed down. Okay, so let's go for minus 80. Something like that. Okay, let's now put that on top of this image. And since this image, this div has a z-index of 1, I need to go for this div and put here the z-index to be 2. So layout z-index 2. Now let's save that and see how it looks in the front end. Not here. This is the one that we're making. So as you can see, this is the layout. Now I need to put also a little bit of padding inside here. So let's go for the shortcode. Let's go to the div, and here we're going for advanced. We're going for sizing and spacing, and here let's go for 20 margin here. No, I think it's 40, like 40 or something. 40. Let's save that and see how it looks. Okay, it's closer. Of course, it's not the same form because we don't have this layout, and we're not going to create the same layout for the form. It's not something difficult to do, especially if you're using a form that you can create more advanced stuff. And you don't need to do that with CSS. If you just install the .NET Forms, the free plugin .NET Forms, you can do everything just as using your mouse and pointing and clicking and selecting stuff. You don't have to write any code down. So we're going to put also a little bit more padding here. Let's go for 50. Let's save that and see how it looks. And I think we're okay. And now we're going to set those for the mobile version because I think it's a little bit tricky. And I think it has a little bit of space on top. So let's go and put the padding of 20 on top. Okay, and maybe on bottom too. Go for another 20. Okay, let's save that. And now for the mobile version, you have to go and see where you have put the padding. So you need a margin. So you need to go and reset those settings. So let's go for that div, which is the whole div. And here, if I go to advanced, since I have this icon, means that I have selected something and changed something. And if I go to the sizing, I will see that this div has a 40% width. And I need to go for the breakpoint that this is here, and I need to put here 100% of that. First, let's go and see how it looks here. And as I can see, this is looking okay, except for this form. The other are looking good. So let's go to this div, and this div has a little bit of padding inside. So let's go for padding, and let's select here 100%. Let's go for 120, something like that. And we're going to leave it as 120. I think it's okay. and maybe I push a little bit down this info button so we can see the submit button. So let's go for that div, and here advanced and here sizing, and here we have negative 120, I think. So let's go for 100 and negative 100. Okay, it's way too much again, so let's go for 50, negative 50 maybe. Okay, let's go for 30 to keep the same style, but as you can see, now I can see the submit button. Okay, so let's go to the next one, which will be the layout where we have 992 pixels, and we're going to fix all of those. So let's see first in the all devices what we have. As you can see, we have many things to correct, but first let's select that column. That column doesn't have any changings, and here in the div, as you can see, we have advanced here, and we have changed the width. So let's go here to less than 992, and for the width let's go for 100%. Okay, of course we don't see anything that changes because we have inside the child elements other stuff, and we're going to open that. We're going to select that div, and let's go again to the all devices and see what we have changed here. So we have some margin and some margin to the top and to the right. So let's go for less than 992. Let's put here 0 and 0, so it will start from the beginning, and here you can see that if you want to change that, you can do that. So of course this image is not very good for mobile phones because he's pointing to his right or to his left, but for us it's right, and the contact form is down here, but we're not going to fix that. Other than that, we don't have anything else to change in the image. I think we're okay with that, yes. And let's select that div. As you can see, this has a 60%. So if we go to less than 992, let's go and put here 100%. Okay, let's go now to all device again. Let's select that div, and here we're going to see that we have some background. We're not going to change the background, and here for the layout we have the Z index, I think. Not the Z index, what have we changed? The center. Okay, so for the sizing and spacing we have this padding and of course the width. So let's go to less than 992, and here we're going to put 0, 0, 0 and 0. And now you can start changing what you want. So we need some padding here. We're going for 20, and we're going for the bottom 20 as well, and we're okay with that. Let's save that changes. And let's see if we have anything else for the shortcode here. I think we didn't make any change for the code. No, we didn't. And for the div, of course, we made some changings for the layout, for the sizing and spacing, for the padding, and for the margin. So let's go to less than 992, and here we're going to put 0. We're going to put 0 and 0. So we have those in full width. And I don't like how they look, so I need to put a little bit of margin inside the columns. Now I know because I put the color to the columns, the background color to the columns, that when I leave here inside that div a little bit of space, let's go and add sizing and spacing and put a margin of 20 on the bottom. It's going to take a space, but it's going to look black. So I'm going to change something in the all devices, and here we're going for color. Here I'm going to copy that, and I'm going for the columns, and I'm going to put that in the columns. So here we have that color, we have that color in here, and that color in here. Okay, save that and see how it looks in the front end. So I think nothing is changed. Yeah, nothing is changed in the front end, but here, as you can see now, I can break to 992, and I will have that little bit of space, which is better. So I need also to check this div and put here also a 20 margin, size spacing 20 pixels margin. And I think this is not looking too good because as you can see, the width is bigger than the width that you have in the form, because this div has a little bit of probably padding inside here. So what I'm going to do is change the width here in the columns. So let's go for the width here to be 80% for that div, and maybe Now it cannot take any changing to the space because it doesn't have any parent setting for the width to go 80% of something, so it doesn't know how is 80%. So we can solve that but with two ways, even adding a div inside the column and have that to have a little bit of width or not, or just adding the margin inside here, whatever you want to do. So for me, I think I'm going to add I'm going to add a margin. So let's go and add a margin. So let's go for 50 pixels here and 50 pixels here. And okay, stay, and margin no, because it pushes here. I'm going to put inside the columns the margin, so the padding, sorry. So columns, let's go for sizing and spacing, and here it's a good way to change the width here. So let's add 80% here. Why didn't I think that in the first place? I don't know. Okay, now I can go inside that div and have that to be in the center. Okay, so as you can see, I made mistakes all the time and I have to go and search what I'm doing, because you don't type the code into a paper and see how it looks. You just type everything inside here and make the changes on the fly. So now that we have the columns to be 80%, you can see now how it looks, and I think it's a little bit better. Maybe it could go for 70 or something. Maybe it's better. Okay, let's save the changings, and now we're going to see also the 768, how it looks. And now I can go for the columns here and put those 100%. So let's go for sizing and let's go for the width to be 100%. Okay, and leave it as this. And now I have to go for this to div and remove the spaces, sizing and spacing, and let's go for margin 0, margin 0. Okay, so the form is not too bad. And now we can save that changes. The image should also have the same layout, and so let's go to the div, advanced, sizing and spacing, and put the padding to be 0, and here the padding to be 0 also. Let's save that, and we're okay with that also. And let's go to the last one, which is less than 480, and the image is okay, but as you can see now, the contact form, it's not looking good. Now I don't think I can make too much changes in the form without editing in custom CSS. Let's go to advanced and see the sizing if it's going to work. 80 pixels. Yeah, it's not going to work. As you can see, it messes around with everything. Okay, and let's see for that div what changes have we had. All devices, we have a width of 100%. And sizing and spacing, and here we have 80. So here we have 120, and here we have 0. Okay, this is the correct one. And here the as you can see, the shortcode takes too much width. So let's go for 120. It's not going to change. Now I cannot fix that because this needs custom CSS, and I cannot do anything with that, I think. Let's go for 100% and see if it's going to work. No, let's go a little bit less. Now it's not changing, it takes the space that it wants. Okay, here, so I cannot make any more changings in here. And of course, I wouldn't choose this kind of form, the contact form 7 for me in my website. So let's save that and see how it looks now in the front end. And as you can see, it's looking pretty good. Now, I haven't checked this, how it looks when you shrink. So as you can see here, it looks like this, which I don't really like. I don't think that this is a good style for maybe a tablet, and this is certainly not good for a mobile phone. And this is okay, but I would not say that I would like the cover for the mobile phones. Okay, so they're putting first the contact form. So you can do that by going into the columns, and here you can reverse the column order when you want. So let's go for 992, and now when we go and drop less than 992, we will have the contact form first, and then we will have this guy. So that was the video. Hopefully it didn't bore you, and thanks guys for watching. Please add in the comments below if you want to see another styling. I have 2 or 3 ideas what to do next, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thanks guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.